Hello everybody, what's going on? Shadow Master here, bringing you a new episode of a new series on Minecraft Empire Creation. Now, Minecraft Empire Creation is pretty much a whole set of guidelines where pretty much you have to be building a city, an empire. You start off by only being able to do stone machinery, and then you're going to build up from there. So the first thing you're going to do is you have to build 3 buildings and then to get to unlock stone. Once you unlock stone, then you can go on, continue on to iron, and so forth, so forth. Now the first rules are, I'm gonna be using kind of a different type of my own twist. Is every time I die, I have to build another building. And another thing is, I can't use resources. So for example, I might be able to use dark oak because that's the starting oak that I can. But for example, I won't be able to use just standard. If I can use if I can use this oak, that means that I have to unlock the next oak. And to unlock it, it means that I'm gonna have to build. Now the main thing is the houses have to be big, so they have to be like a standard house. Like imagine you actually live in that house. So that's the challenge in itself. You can't just go, oh, it's just a cute little house. No, it's literally you're gonna have to build a house where you would consider yourself living. Because this is pretty much a challenge. It's building realistic empire. So the building itself is gonna be a really big city, big upgrades. There's a lot of gonna be doing. The first thing that I'm gonna be doing is chopping up wood, and I can't collect any stone. That's straight off the bat. I can't collect any stone, which is seems like oh that's not good, but it makes sense because right now it's you're building the city, and the first building that I'm going to be building is not really that big, but it is an important building in everyday life. The first building that I'm going to be building is a house. Now, say what you want, houses aren't necessarily going to be big. Now, another thing is, you heard, I said straight out. I'm building a house. There's gonna be upgrades. So, for example, I can't use oak, regular oak. I have to use dark oak for pretty much everything. How can I transfer it? Well, to do that, I have to transfer resources. So, for example, right now I have 49. I mean, I have to get, for example, if I want to get regular oak, which would be that one, I would have to trade in oak 64 oak. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot. Now, for example, right now, it's not significant because buildings, but it's still fairly effective. Now, I love this seed because I have a mesa biome over there, but not why I like it. I like it because of where it's at. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pop these down and there we go. That's going to be where I can plop my crafting table. Boom. Boom. So, why is this house going to be big? Well, mostly because the houses themselves are going to be realistic. So, for example, this first building, I need to build. My first building is going to be a little bit big. The next building that I can build is pretty much mine, because of course I can't get stone if I don't build a mine. So there's going to be 2 buildings that are going to be done: a house, a mine, and a farm. Now that doesn't seem like that bad because one of those buildings is going to be fairly small. So let's count here. Now the thing is, I have to actually build. So now, why is this house? Well, this house is going to be pretty much a really big house. And push comes to shove, think it's gonna be. I'm fairly certain that's this is big enough. But the idea behind it, it's gonna be. It's a house that's gonna be technically on the chunkier side. Now, why am I making the house really big? Is it because like I'm saying no? It has mostly to do with the idea behind this build. It is technically supposed to be realistic, and there is no realism without a house. So the house itself is pretty much imagine just a regular house. If you live on a house. Now, the house itself just seems like, oh, it doesn't have any point. But that's the whole idea. The house itself needs kind of to exist. So it's chopping a lot of wood. So right now, main mission is just chopping as much wood as I can. Yeah, because right now I only have one sapling, which isn't good. It isn't bad, but it isn't good. But the idea behind this is just making as big of a house as I can. Now it's gonna be creating. So, and here's where you guys can pretty much let me know down below where you get what building you want me to build aside from the farm, which I already have an idea because it's gonna be like a farm. It's gonna be first building is gonna be wood. Next building is gonna be just cobblestone. First building is gonna be only wood tools. So this house is pretty much I haven't decided, but I'm thinking 2 buildings with pure wood tools. Then I can upgrade to get stone tools and be using stone materials, equivalent of stone. So pretty much what it would be equivalent of stone would be cobblestone, andesite, granite, stuff like that. And then later on, I can't create glass because I can't create I don't know the furnace. I don't have a smithy. Then I have to create a district which would, for example, I would say, oh, now I have this district. I have the sugarcane district now. Or I have the farming district down now. So once I have the farming district, oh, okay, since I have the farming district, then it's okay. But the idea behind it is simple. I'm going to be building the houses for us. I'm going to create them for pretty much just to see. Don't worry about the house not having glass, though. I already have in consideration that. Let's just say I've been planning this for quite a while, so I kind of had an idea of how I wanted to build it. Now, if you notice, the texture itself is fairly certain. So I'm going to kill the pig. Now, I'm usually a man against animal cruelty, but I need to live. Now, I don't know if there's sound, so let me just go here. This sound. And I'm thinking of also doing live streams. This episode, I'm just going to show you the basics. And don't forget that I have to kind of fill in the center, so to speak, but I don't have to fill it in all the way, so I just have to fill in the perimeter. So if I want to use another material to build, as I said, I would have to pretty much just trade in a stack. So the fact that remaining is that I can barely use my tools. It's fairly incredible. So the first thing I'm going to do is just build up. Now if you notice, I barely got the floor in. That's how big this build is. Like, it's not a typical build where you're just like, oh. No, it's a rather big build. And I think that's the idea behind it. It's pretty much build big. Now the good thing is, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to be building in one day. Because I do have to have an idea. But I am going to be doing pretty much one house per day, per episode. That's my idea. When they're bigger builds, then it's going to be separate. But the idea is one house per episode. And there's going to be progress. There's going to be, for example, there's going to be a lot of building involved. For example, right now, there's a lot of building. But at the same time, there isn't a lot of danger. But later on, there's going to be like, oh, for example, right now. Right now, it's just like, oh. Right now, I'm just chopping wood, and it's like, oh, how much more do I think I'm gonna need? I'm thinking of needing about 10 stacks. The floor itself is already done. And then right now, there's a 3-episode grace period. So once the 3 buildings are up, this goes into hard mode, and it's locked into hard mode. Makes sense right now if it's like, oh, you're starting, you're not going to build. But you notice I kind of wish I had this done already, but next episode I should be able to do it. And if you notice, 31, 32, 33, what do I have? I have 36 wood. Let's see here. 18. And then I have to get 30. I have to build it up, so I need 7. So right now it's just building up walls, which isn't really much. I'm just building walls. I'm gonna be building the walls, interior designing. It's gonna be done with more blocks, but as you can tell, there's gonna be like kitchen area. There's gonna be a lot of stuff, so it's fairly certain. And I already have an idea of like how I'm gonna build a house. Just to do it, it takes quite a while. Now there's gonna be a small little area. We're just gonna be in. Oh, that light scared me. Keep in mind, every time you hear that crack, it means that I'm doing something right. And let's see here. We have another 34. Okay. We're halfway through the night. Spider. My mom's over there. It's best to keep going where I was at. The idea behind this is try to get the wood. I know that it sounds like, oh, I don't want to get it, but in reality, it's just, I don't want to deal with the mobs right now. This challenge is already hard enough. I should right now already have gotten ironstone. I would have been mining, I wouldn't be building. But now, I'm actually just focusing on getting build. The faster I can build Empire, the better. Now this is typical. This is so that I can play a little bit of standard. Now I am going to be doing a little bit of other games. I preferably prefer Stardew Valley as well, so I'm going to be playing a little bit of that as well. Free time, so it's something else to look forward. I actually consider myself fairly comfortable with Stardew Valley, so I am going to be playing that. And I'm going to be trying to do a rush on it. And I'm going to be doing every single mission, and I'm going to be telling you guys how to do it, what best to prepare yourself with. And if you notice, there's Enderman, there's 32, 46, okay. In reality, we almost have enough, I could just say, for it. But I'm not going to be risking it. I am going to be actually working on it. The fact is, remaining is, I am just going to build a house, and then I'm going to be terraforming it on the side. Terraforming means just doing it on the side low. I know this isn't exactly excited, it gets more exciting. This is just episode 1, and I am barely doing a YouTuber. I've always wanted to live stream. I record due to some stuff. I always second guess myself, you can say. So this time I'm gonna be working a little bit more. I have a little bit of free time, so I'm gonna be taking advantage of that. So as you can tell, pretty much the buildings are getting set. The more buildings there is, the better we are. The idea behind this is just getting as much wood as possible. Now I am going to be doing a Skyblock series. I am thinking of just doing an OP blocks just to do better. But I'm going to be waiting for a reset on one. I was doing Costing Sky, but I already started that and it's kind of personal. So maybe I'll just do a show of what I have already. I do a lot of individual work. I don't have really many connections to play Minecraft still. But at the end of the day, I prefer to do this. Now, as you can tell, it is about to become day. And once it becomes day, it's building a house again. There's a creeper there. The idea behind this is just see how far the houses you can build, how much building you can get done. Creeper over there. Creeper over there. So we're done here. Right. Tommy sword eating. Okay. So it is morning. Good, that means that mobs are gonna start burning. And my house is still intact. Okay. Enderman for Slender. Right there. Deal with it. Deal with risk. Okay. Let's get this house started. Now, I have an idea of pretty much how big the house has to be. So, okay. Right. And I'm actually going to change it. I'm actually going to change it. I'm only going to build one house. I'm actually realizing why. And I'll explain it in a bit. builds like these are going to be light. So mostly I'm just getting it for the coal. But as you can tell, the building itself is almost done. Well, the floor itself is done. Maybe 5 high. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or actually, you can do it like this. Usually I would use double doors, but I actually have a better idea. Okay. Actually, yes. And then actually no. Like this. Too big. Now it could be here. And it could be 3 thick. Okay. So it's 1. Great. So that means we have to upgrade it, the house a little bit. Now, if you notice, this house is still fairly big. And you're probably like, why is this house so big? Well, the idea behind it is it's realistic. It's like you're not going to be living here and just being like, oh, I live here. No, it's you have to be in a place where you would actually consider living. And this is technically a place that I would consider living. I always like dark oak because it is technically a good color. I can eat the apple. Great. So that I can regen somehow. Now let's see here. You walk in. And over here. Over here you have the personal study. means it is going to be its personal study. So this is where the personal study is, and then you're going to have, like, for example, the thing over here. Here is where it gets more complicated. As you notice, I'm building fences. Why? Because how many can I build? I can build 27. Now the reason is because since I don't have glass yet, these make it don't look like windows, old-fashioned windows. And the idea behind this is build. And if you notice, our building itself is kind of roomy. We'll enter, and we're going to make this a little more because it is the study. And of course, with the study itself, we can actually have windows. So in the study, we have the first study. So it's now we're going to be building doors. First thing, next is going to continue. Now, okay, so I'm noticing I have this here. What can I do with this area? Again, kind of building this building out. This time it's going to be more different. So this one is just going to be like pretty much a small little area. So this can just be, again, this is simple area. As you can tell, the project itself is fairly big. I'm already building a house, so to speak. And that's the thing, like, you already have pretty much rooms. That area over there is going to be the kitchen. Or over there, I'm just going to probably just leave it like that. And now, we pretty much have these areas here. And you'll have pretty much over here, pretty much like a kitchen type of thing. So you'll have what I like to call like that weird wall. It's supposed to prevent stuff, but like it doesn't really. like this. It's like, oh, it's such a cute little wall. And in reality, it's just there. You have like the kitchen area. And I think I'm going to be separating this into parts. I'm thinking because... And there isn't going to be a back. I don't know why I thought that I was going to have a back door, but this is pretty much going to be like... This is pretty much the building. So I am going to do... I'm thinking I might separate this into two parts just because of the length of the video. And we'll see from there. But I actually no. Honestly, I said that in this episode I wasn't going to cut anything, and I mean it. So there we go. If you notice, there is like that little area. There's going to be the living room, and then over here there's probably nothing. That's okay. This is probably going to be the thing down the line later. But as you can see, it's almost done. So I'm just going to be leaving the roof off to the next episode, just because this is technically still a huge project, and I am not ready completely. But you can see, actually, I'm going to finish the house. I already got pretty much. I need the roof to be finished. Once I finish the roof, it's technically... Once I finish the roof, it's technically done. There isn't really much to do. I kind of overdid it. But immediately interior decoration is going to do it. So I'm going to do something. If you notice, I am actually going to go into peaceful temporarily. Mostly, I am going to show you guys this because I am mostly just working on that, but I just wanted to do that. So I'm going to actually go open that, allow cheats, set time, okay. So I sent it up to set time and set day. I'm gonna be honest, mostly because I was gonna either camp it and I was just gonna stay and not do anything for the whole night, and I didn't want to do that. So in reality, since I already had the house, I was gonna camp it, and I wasn't gonna deal with that. So I'm just gonna set up time set day for right now. It isn't gonna be used like this. It's just there isn't really much to do, and I really don't want to just have to deal with you guys having to see me grind anymore. I am probably going to start doing cuts more or less because the house itself is technically built. I am probably going to build some bedrooms in the back. I'm thinking about it. I'll probably just build 3 bedrooms. And hopefully, and I mean hopefully, with this, I should be able to get this. 64, I should be able to get 4 stacks of 64, which in turn should propel me. But I'm hoping I can get as much wood as I can for you guys, because this is technically the bigger project that it is, and I'm going to be doing the roof still. So I'm just going to be setting up right now everything. I'm not going to intro decorize it because I'm waiting for me to get more items. But I am going to be setting it up to get everything. And there's going to be a World Border next episode, which I am interested in to do it, because I'm going to be doing World Border expansion. I am just working on it, setting it up. This time, because I just in case the seed I didn't like it, I was going to be expanding it, but the idea behind it is pretty simple. 60, come on. If you look at the house, next episode I am going to be doing mining, so it's going to be cobblestone. And the reason behind the reason, oh, why am I going to cobblestone? It's because I realized that I can't get coal. Well, I can go coal. Actually, I can get coal, but I actually want to get some furnace, and I want to be building some stuff. So I kind of want to set it up for next episode, but I have to set up a town. So I'm going to be having to set up some buildings for iron, and I'm going to be, instead of iron building my first system edition, that's at 5 buildings, and I have to be setting up like an actual town, and I have to start building the Great Wall. The Great Wall is like, oh, first is going to be, you have a wall that protects your city, and then it's like, oh, you have farmland, like in old times, but it's going to be more than that. So the site, I don't really stress about that. That I can do really quickly off screen. But the main idea is, let's see here, the house itself. Let's see how much do you think we can get? Because that's the idea. How much can we get? This is a bigger challenge. Many people just probably be like, oh, I don't see the point. There's no fun. But it's to kind of make you kind of work for your progress. Usually, like with they can say mods, like there's so much to do. And I am a big fan of mods, but I also wanted to do something kind of off the grid. And then next, meaning kind of like preparing for building. Because once Skyblocks gets out, I'm going to be doing OP Skyblocks, and I'm going to be setting up big things. Also, let's see here. If you notice, there's quite a lot of wood that I chopped. I'm going to continue chopping this. I can't believe this, but I'm actually excited. I'm pretty certain that I'm actually set with wood at the moment. And I think I'm actually going to be able to finish the build with this amount of wood. Now, don't quote me on that because there's still a lot of parts that I need to do. But I do feel confident in finishing the house. And this is technically the house. So right now I'm just setting it up. So let's just build. Let's just see how far we can get here. And as I said, that's the kitchen. So the kitchen is already built. So with the kitchen already built, what's left pretty much, because if you have the kitchen already built, and this is the walls, so you have your study, and then you're gonna have a hallway, and I think I'm gonna make the hallway pretty high. So you have the kitchen here, you have the kitchen here, kitchen there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And like this weird places where like they put like the house and messed up. So I'm gonna actually do this. So this is pretty much like the room. So you have the room. No, 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 no. Interesting. Like I have the room set up. Yeah. And then of course I can't forget the bathroom. So as you can tell, you have the room here set up already. So you can just come in. Then since you already have 3 rooms already, you just come in here and you're like, oh, this is like a small little bathroom. Now, as you can tell, this is pretty much just set already. You have like the little bathroom in here. You have living room. So now we can actually go and see how much wood extra wood we're gonna have. So 5. So and again we're gonna do times a day. Mostly just for progression. This isn't gonna be typical. Now let's see here. 24. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here. We need a door. Perfect. Okay. Doors. Now, as you can tell, this is the hard part. Now, I know I'm gonna be cutting my grace period because I am actually healed. That's okay. I do consider myself kind of like a little bit. So you know how I said 3 days? I'm just gonna be. This is my grace period. And you know what? For good measures, after this episode, I'm gonna lock it hard. But as you can see, the house itself is doing fairly well. Hopefully I can reach it. Okay. So I'm gonna hopefully with this working, I can reach it. Okay. I have to break this one as well. This one. So I can go. Boom. And boom. Now, the roof isn't going to be like really big. It is going to be fairly small. But as you can tell, it isn't the roof that's pretty much the driving factor. It's like, oh, look at this build. Like, the build itself isn't hard. Anybody can build a build. Anybody can build like the build that I'm building. Anybody can be like, oh, I know how to build, but the build itself is by far the thing that separates the build from like regular people's build is just look at the difference. Look at the size difference. I'm not building a build that's just cute. I'm building a build that's technically hard. For example, I come in here and the first thing I notice is next thing is well, I need that. There we go. So next thing we need, I need to make another one of these, and I need to go outside. So as I said, this is the last time I'm able to do this. So one last heal will be pretty much it. But at the end of the day, it's mostly just a harder challenge. Like this is like the free day, like this is prep night. And I already kind of like dealt with some stuff. But if you notice, look at the house. The house itself doesn't look bad. And honestly, the house itself looks really good. I actually enjoyed the house the way the house looks. If you look from it from the front, it doesn't seem like a really big build. But in reality, and everybody knows like the build itself, what took it wasn't just simply just like, oh, it's cute, it's a big build. And there's a lot of things that are gonna be involved. There's gonna be sugarcane, there's gonna be cows, there's gonna be projects. And here's what I'm gonna be doing every episode. So I'm gonna be doing statistics for items. And I'm gonna be scrolling down just so you guys see that I'm not cheating. That is something that I'm gonna be clear because many people can just go into creative. I'm gonna be telling you this is 100% legit. There's gonna be something aside from today, which is I am not gonna be. This episode's gonna be 40 minutes long already, as you guys can tell, and it's one house. So there's a lot of prepping. There's a lot of work to do. Tomorrow, next episode, there's gonna be stone. The episodes are going to be every 2 days, so be ready for that. If you notice, there's just an insane amount of wood that I am collecting. That's 44 wood for this building, for this house. And if you notice, the house itself doesn't look bad. Now, next episode, I'm going to be having to collect 64 regular dark oak, so I can start using regular oak. Because then there's going to be birds. There's going to be birds as well, which I need to collect. Now, if you notice, I kind of got these, not really because I needed them, but mostly because I wanted this, so that I can come here and I can actually just finish the house. The idea behind this is just seems like a regular symmetrical house. But in reality, this is technically the first house, so it's. And don't worry, I actually have an idea of what I want to build next. It is not going to be using wood. That's given. Because I already built something with wood. I was like, you know what? I have an idea. I'm not going to be building with wood. I'm actually going to be building with sandstone. So I'm going to be excavating the whole stand. I'm going to build a pyramid. So I'm going to be building a small little pyramid. So we're going to have, our next building is going to be like that. Small little pyramid. Now if you notice, this building itself, for as big as it is, this is technically not okay. So it's gonna be another times a day. Because if you notice, this is fairly I understand, like, some people are like, why would you build something this big? Because in reality, this building is fairly big. Like, I'm gonna need to chop down another tree to get this house done. Like, that's how big this build is. That's why I was like, I'm giving myself a free day. Because in reality, look at this. And I'm gonna give myself, so you guys can see. So I gave myself 10 torches. Just so that temporarily I can light up the house. Because I don't think mobs are gonna be. I don't want mobs to spawn here now that I have. And I'm pretty sure if I did, mobs would spawn. So I'm gonna be building. Of course, so I'm gonna be taking my crafting table with me. Now this, if you notice, I showed you everything. So as you can see, I'm still showing you what I did. So if you notice, there's horses here. So I'm gonna kill that pig. And come on. Come on, come here. Come here, come here, come here. I can eat a little bit. There we go. So we're gonna hopefully get another level. The idea behind this is build the house. The house itself is gonna be self-explanatory. You're gonna be carrying glass. So let's see here. So now put the crafting table on the ground. Like that. Now I'm not gonna need all two, but I am gonna need a lot. So if you notice, this is gonna be the final step part. I am recording for the past hour. This is gonna be about an hour episode. So this is the first episode just dedicated to this massive build. So forgive me when I say it. There's a lot on this project, and this is all uncut. So the next episodes are going to be more cut, paste, more cut, dry, cut, paste, cut, paste, cut, paste, because obviously this episode itself is just the first one, and this is my first ever episode. But if you notice, we chopped down a lot of wood. Hopefully this is enough. I really don't want to come here again and do another, because you're already dealing with pretty much just all base. Like I can understand like, oh yay, some small to work. No, this is a big base. Like this is the type of house you would build episode 3, or like when you're doing live streams and you're like, this house is ridiculous. Like if I look from it from the front, when I look at it from the front, it actually looks pretty dope. Because if you look at it, it's like 3-dimensional house. It's like fairly big. It's like, and it's gonna get better. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna shovel this area out as well, just so that I can actually get that area. Just gotta make it so that it appears. If you can tell, like the house itself is fairly big. But that's the beauty of it. Like that's the thing that makes this house special. It isn't like oh it's something that like many people do. It's like yes you can, this house is technically considered the best house. Now, this video might be split into 2 video parts. If it is, then I'm sorry. But it's just mostly, I don't want the video to be going on forever. As you can tell, now I could always upgrade the house. Like I am thinking about maybe upgrading it. just upgrade a house. Maybe just build the roof up. But I think it's fine. The house itself is looking fabulous. I'll say so myself. Yes, like just getting a little bit of meat up. And if you look at the house, it looks glorious. Like, look at the house; it calls your attention. The fences themselves just kind of add to the feel. So I'm gonna give myself torches 10 more, just because. And because I gave myself 10 torches, I have to throw away 10 torches next episode. So here there's gonna be a door. It's kind of like a back gate door kind of thing. And then don't forget that the house is gonna be building again. No, okay. As I said, this is the only episode that I'm allowed to cheat, so. And it's not even like big cheating, it's just like inconveniencing stuff. Like, I really don't want to deal with. Like, for example, I don't really want to deal with floating, so. Since the house isn't floating anymore, because it is lifted. This is the idea of making next episode, since I'm gonna be able to get cobblestone with this house. It is gonna be like hard. And here, like always, so I know that this isn't supposed to look like this, but I'm gonna take some liberties here and just make it like that. And since this is a back gate, maybe like that. And last but not least, we have place that doesn't need it. So or glass windows here. to last window there. Eliminate the odors. And last but not least, on this room, it's just going to be 6. So here as well, I'm thinking of and this is gonna be like just setting it up. And we're gonna set it up so that we have table set up. You have chair, there. There we go. And the office chair, of course. Can't forget that. So and we're done. So if you like the video, make sure karate chop that like button. We were able to finish, so I'm excited. So I'm going to be doing the last things, which is going to be being peaceful to get my health back up, closing the doors because the house itself is done, and marrying it because if you notice from afar, we have pretty much the table set up. And so, if you like the video, make sure to karate chop that like button. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.